next part it is how did colonial rule affect the tribal life and what happened to the tribal chief. We have seen like that many people become chiefs, how they affected. Before the arrival of the British in many areas, the tribal chief enjoyed a certain amount of economic power and had the right to administer and control the territories. So each and every chiefs of the tribal groups, it may be clans, they had what some sort of economical power in that group. At the same time, they was doing the administration of that area and they was controlling their territory also. Under British rule, the function and power of the tribal chief changed largely. How they changed? They were allowed to keep their land titles and rent out lands, but they lost much of their administrative power, were forced to follow the land laws made by British officials in India. How it changed? They were also enjoying. This is the introduction and this is the first point. This you should write. You should write this one as the how was the life of the chief. That part, if you are getting question like that, how was the life of the chief, tribal chief, or how they changed. So first stage of how it was, that you want to write. Then first point, what it is, how it changed. First one, they was allowed to keep their land. They was able to keep their land in their hand itself, and they can give that land in rental also. But the administrative power taken by British rule and were forced to follow the laws made by the British officials. So it is maybe related to trade, or it may be related to giving rental land, like that things. All the rules and regulations want to follow by the tribal chief. That was the one condition. The next one, they also had to discipline the tribal groups on behalf of the British. Then chief getting the duty, the part of administration, they want to keep the tribal groups. What they want to do? Keep in discipline. Like that changes it happened. Means the ruling power they lost, but land they can keep. Revenue things that it was there with them. Then what happened to the shifting cultivation? What all changes happened? First one related to chief, how they changed. Second point, it is what happened to the shifting cultivators that we are going to see. The British wanted tribal groups to settle down and become peasant cultivators. We have seen how they was the living, the tribal group, how they was living, that we have seen. They was using shifting cultivation, or they were herds and all. So in related to shifting cultivators, how they want to, British people, they wanted this shifting cultivators, what they want to do, they want to settle down. They want to settle down and want to start the peasant cultivation. Means like a settled farmer, they want to work. That is the first point related to that question. Second question, the British also wanted a regular revenue source for the state. So they started to take revenue from these tribal groups also, because for that purpose they got the compulsion to settle down. Third one, the British introduced land settlement, that is they measured the land, first point, sub point, then define the right of each individual to that land and fix the revenue demand for the state. So 3 points. What changes they made? What changes they made? First one, they measured the land. Then they given in the name of particular person that land. Then they kept fixed the revenue, how the individual want to pay to the state. Some peasants were declared land owners and others are tenants. So if there is 1000 acres, maybe in the hands of 2 people they divide and given, and the big owner, it is known as the land owners, and those who are working under the maybe 100 families, they are altogether we will call it tenants. Then British effort to settle jhum cultivators was not very successful. This shifting cultivators, they was not ready to settle down, how the government said like that. Settled plough cultivation is not easy in the area where the water is scarce and the soil is dry. So the areas like our Tamil Nadu, or the where we are getting very less water, in that area it was very difficult to do the settled cultivation or the ploughing and cultivating. Facing down widespread protest, the British had to ultimately allow them the right to carry on shifting cultivation in some part of the forest. So the people, shifting cultivators people, they started to protest against the British. Then last what they decided, they given back to the people in some areas, not fully, some areas given in the hands of the this shifting cultivators. So what happened to the how they was living before, then what they faced the thing, and how their this government tried to make them to be settled. Then what happened the later, they means how the British said to them to or given permission to be continue their shifting cultivation. All the points you want to write. If it is 3 mark also, 5 mark also. Then forest law and their impact. What all the forest law they made, how it given a positive or negative impact on tribals as well as in British government, we are going to see. British laws classified some forest as reserved forests for they produced timber which the British wanted. In these forest, people were not allowed to move freely, practice jhum cultivation, collect fruits or hunt animals. So some area they kept as a reserved. In that area people can't go freely, they can't collect fruits and things what they are used to collect from the forest area, or they can't use for jhumming cultivation also. Many shifting cultivators therefore forced to move to other areas in search of work and livelihood. So many people, they got the compulsion to move to city areas in search of work. This poses problem of labor for the Britishers to cut trees for railway sleepers and the transport logos. So because of that one, who started to face problem? Again British people started to face problem. So what they decided, thus the British decided that they would give jhum cultivators some patches of land in the forest and allow them to cultivate these on the condition that those who lived village would have to provide labor to the forest department and look after the forest. That also freely they want to give their service to the forest department, at the same time they want to look after forest. Many tribal groups rose in open rebellion. Such was the revolt of Sangram Sangam in 1906 in Assam and the forest satyagraha of 1913 in central provinces. So when the British people said like that, you can continue jhumming cultivation or shifting cultivation inside the forest, but you want to look after like that time many people came with some of the rebellion. Then problem with trade, how they face the problem with trade. What is the topic? Like that forest law and their impact. The traders, how they faced, or we can say nomadic tribes, how they face the problem. During 19th century, traders and the money lenders started coming to more often in the forest, wanting to buy forest produce, offering cash loans and asking tribal groups to work for wage. So this traders also started to get work from whom? Tribal people. Hazari Bag was an area where the Sandals reared cocoons, and the traders dealing in silk sent in their agents who gave loan to the tribal people in the collection of cocoons. So there was one group of people, that is what Sandals, they was rearing cocoon, silk production unit, and what the money lenders was doing, they are keeping the agent for what? To collect the silk and even to give the loan to the tribal people to collect the cocoons. And these cocoons were then export to Gaya, where they were sold at 5 times at price. Means it used to go to Bihar, and they are getting, if they collected by 5 rupees, they are getting 5 times more, 25 rupees, 30 rupees per that particular product. The middlemen who arranged deals between the exporter and the silk grower made a huge profit. So the middle person or trade person or the money lenders started to get a huge amount of profit. The silk growers earned very little, and the British people, all they got very huge amount later when they are taking to outside. The next one, search of the work. What happened to the people, the tribal people, where they went in search of work, and what was their condition where they got job. The condition of the tribals had to go far away from their home in search of work was even worse. Those who went far away places, even to Sri Lanka or Malaysia, their they faced many problems there in their working area. From late 19th century, tea plantations started coming up. Mining became an important industry. Two things it is starting in 19th century, starting of 19th century. One is plantation, another one is mining of different types, coal mine and steel mine, like that. Then in both area, many tribals was working. Tribals were recruited in a large number to work in tea plantations of Assam and coal mines of Jharkhand, and were paid miserably low wage and prevented them from returning to home. They never got chance to go back to their home to visit their family members and all. Then we can see closer look to some areas about Birsa Munda and all. Okay, we'll continue in next.